obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
It's a cookbook.
Who are we?
When will they take the bandages off?
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
This lemon sucker here. He's the most suspicious of the bunch.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
I believe you're going my way.
Live from Willoughby at the heart of the Twilight Zone. Here are your hosts, Alex and Tyler, the prestigiously perfect podcast in which we call The Twilight Gnome.
What is up, Gnomies? I'm Alex.
And I'm Tyler.
Welcome to the Twilight Gnome Podcast, episode 60, Tyler.
I know, it doesn't feel like it's crazy. We're just moving right along. It's crazy.
This week, what episode are we going to be discussing?
This week, we are discussing Steel.
Season 5, Episode 2, original air date October 4th, 1963. This was written by Richard Matheson and directed by Don Weiss, and this was the only Twilight Zone episode that he did.
Wow.
So I guess we'll jump right into it, Ty. What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was when we are in one of the ready rooms and we finally get the face reveal of what Maxo looks like. And then shortly afterwards, too, I really liked it when they opened up his back and you see like little wires and stuff like that. Just the whole concept and design of the character is just really well done. And it's fun because obviously they're building the anticipation with the mask over his face the whole time. So when you finally do get to see him, it's really cool.
Yep, that's what I have. Robot makeup. It's fucking phenomenal. I mean, it made it onto our list of top 10 character/creature designs, and for a good reason. It is very good.
Exactly, because they make it just uncanny enough where obviously it's an android, so it's supposed to look human, but anyone building a robot can never like perfectly match all the nuances of a human face, and the concept designers did an amazing job of like making it just uncanny enough where it looks human but not human. Really good. Well done.
And I also have it written down just watching Lee Marvin. It's unfortunate he only did 2 episodes. He is a very good actor.
Yeah, I like The Grave way better than this one, but he's great in both of them.
We have the technology to rebuild it.
Doctor, what have you created?
I am for all intent and purposes AI Serling.
So every week I put a prompt into ChatGPT, come up with a Rod Serling style intro to the episode we are about to watch, and this week it came up with this. Portrait of a man named Steel. Once he traded blows under bright lights and roaring crowds. Now, in a not-so-distant tomorrow, he trades hope for scrap and memory for survival. The sport he loved is gone, outlawed by a world that prefers the cold precision of machines to the bleeding grit of men. Steel and his partner Pole have nothing left but the rusted relic, an outmodeled robot fighter known as Battling Maxo. With oil for blood and wires for sinew, Maxo was never meant to dream, but Steel still does. And tonight, on the edge of canvas in the desperation, Steel will climb into the ring one more time, not as a fighter, but as a faceless machine. It is an act of courage, or madness, or perhaps both, because in the Twilight Zone, the line between heart and hardware can vanish in a single round.
Ooh, I like that heart and hardware one. Just to be nitpicky, because I know you love it when I'm nitpicky, a not so distant future. You mean the past?
Well, for them, it's the not so distant
for them
future.
When they made it, it was the not so distant future.
I almost wrote because into the prompt I was like, in the distant future, it's outlawed. I almost wrote like 1970 or whatever, and I was like, I don't know if ChatGPT is going to be like, you know that's the past, not the future, right?
Yeah, that would be a hard thing to convey to it, where it's like, it's the future from when it was written, but to us now, watching it, it is the past. Weird concept.
All right, so every week, Tyler and I come up with a few questions for each other, keep each other on our toes while watching said episode. I have 3
I
this
have
week.
4.
All right, go for it.
All right, what's the bus number in the opening shot?
4013.
4502.
Dang it.
You got 2 of the numbers right.
Wow. All right. What year is it?
1974.
All right. That's why earlier I said I was like, oh, fuck, that's one of my trivia questions. Don't give it up.
I already knew. All the dates just really
what
stick
month
in my
is it?
head. It's August.
All right.
How many rounds is Maxo scheduled to fight in?
6.
Correct.
What year was boxing made illegal?
1968.
Yep.
What day is the fight?
It's a Tuesday, right?
It's not.
Sunday?
No.
What is it?
It is Friday, August 2nd.
All right. What model is battling Maxo?
He's a B2. Not the bomber, though. And my last question, how long did the fight last?
2 minutes and 21 seconds?
Ooh, you're off by 1 second. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Damn it. All right. All right. I guess we'll jump right into the plot on this one. We open on a bus arriving at a bus stop, and 2 men are wheeling their sex doll off said bus.
I wonder if they got charged for the robot being on the bus. Like, it takes up a seat, I would imagine. So would they charge it?
Yeah, but the same thing could be said for luggage or a backpack.
I mean, if you're carrying a shit ton of luggage, I would imagine the bus would also probably charge you, right?
I have no idea. I don't take the bus. I don't take the bus, actually.
Yeah.
Sounds like a douchey thing, but I never have. One of the wheels falls off of the doll, and Steele fixes it. And then we see a calendar. It says it's August 1974, and the 2 men enter a diner.
I like the whole wheel falling off because it's one of those, like, comedy comes in threes. Not that it's comedy in this instance, but it's more just a very early indicator of, like, oh, clearly
This
this
thing's a piece of
robot's...
shit.
Yeah, it's not well taken care of, and they're going to keep laying on this joke or this kind of imagery of it's run down.
And I like how it's clearly like a paper mache doll when they're wheeling it, obviously. 'Cause
I was
it'd
thinking
be
like a
heavy as
mannequin.
shit.
Yeah.
And then when they get inside, it sits down, and it's like, oh, there's a person too.
The
they keep switching
minute
back.
the minute it has to move, so like because when it sits, it has to obviously, like a mannequin can't bend its knees. Every time that switches, you can clearly tell the shoulders are broader, like it's just bigger all around than the mannequin, and it's very obvious.
Pole, who is Steele's mechanic, I guess, right?
Yeah.
He's the mechanic.
Yep.
He tells Steele, the dummy's gonna lose. It's a piece of junk. And Steele's just like, oh, it just needs a little bit of elbow grease. And we got this big gig here in Kansas. It's $500. And I'll play a little bit of this because he's obviously, the whole thing is a metaphor for Steele himself, right? When he's just it's still got some fight in him. I think he's like living through this thing. Like he won't admit that the doll is out and gone because then he'd have to in return admit that he is out.
To some extent, I think that's kind of what the message was. But part of why I wasn't a huge fan of this episode, spoiler alert, is the unclear message. Like I think what you're trying to get at is probably what they were trying to go for. But overall, I just thought it was kind of not clear.
Well, it's no use glaring at me. You know he's shot.
That ain't true. Just needs a little work, that's all.
Yeah, little $3,000-$4,000 overhaul with parts he don't make anymore.
Well, the way you talk, Paul, you'd think he was ready for the scrap heap.
Ain't he?
No, he ain't. There's plenty of fight left in Maxo. How's he gonna be all right?
Still, I don't know. He needs work, you know that.
So a little bit after this, that's when they bring up the whole idea that in 1968 is when real boxing was outlawed. And we know right now it's 1974. So it's only been 6 years that these robot fights have been going on for. How is the B2 that damaged from just 6 years? I mean, I get that it's probably
getting punched all the time.
Yeah, but even still, like, everyone makes jokes like, oh, it's a bucket of rust and like stuff like that. And like, oh, it's so outdated. But like, and they don't even sell parts for it anymore. Like, you can't find parts from something that's only 6 years old. That seems a bit far-fetched. I don't know. They should have made it so that it was longer since
like it was the 90s now or something.
Yeah, or at least something where it would make sense where this piece of technology is vastly outdated.
Pole tells him he's going to be fighting a B7, but Steele's just like, it's a starter B7. It's a starter car. He tells him that the B2 has no chance. He gets really mad at Pole. Why are you always talking shit about this fucking thing?
And I think
he takes it very personally.
I think, like you said, that's kind of the idea of Steele sees the robot kind of as a replacement for himself, and he sees himself in the robot, and he's kind of like trying to hype the robot up because that's hyping himself up by proxy.
For sure. And then Rod brings us in.
Sports item. circa 1974. Battling Maxo B2 heavyweight, accompanied by his manager and handler, arrives in Maynard, Kansas, for a scheduled 6-round bout. Battling Maxo is a robot, or to be exact, an android. Definition, an automaton resembling a human being. Only these automatons have been permitted in the ring since prize fighting was legally abolished in 1968. This is the story of that scheduled 6-round bout. More specifically, the story of two men shortly to face that remorseless truth that no law can be passed which will abolish cruelty or desperate need, nor for that matter, blind animal courage. Location for the facing of said truth, a small smoke-filled arena just this side of the Twilight Zone.
Rod switching out his cigarettes for tea. Very
Right?
good. Good for him.
Noticed that. Next shot, we are at the boxing ring, and Steele and Pole go in to see the manager. The wheel falls off
I say,
again.
as they're walking in, we get the second instance of the wheel falling off.
Pole continues to talk shit, saying that we have a piece of dead iron here. And he's just, shut the fuck up, someone's gonna... Which Pole shouldn't be, like...
He shouldn't be talking like that when they're at the fighting ring, because I'm assuming they probably bet. That's probably why they have fights, right? So that people can bet on them.
Yeah.
And then obviously you don't want to be like downplaying your contestant, because
I'm sure the odds were obviously against Maxo anyway.
Yeah, but then
Do you
just
think anyone had money on Max? God damn it!
Well, someone's got to have money on it, because otherwise, what would be the point of having the two fight at all? Like, someone's probably being like, "Well, it's really good odds if he does win."
Right.
I don't know.
They go into the manager's office. There's a guy, Maxwell. He's counting the money. He tells Steele that Nolan will be in a minute. And I like this. Like, it's like awkward tension, and Steele just feels like he has to fill that void. Maybe you've heard of him. And he starts making up all kinds of...
See, I didn't think it was more or less awkward tension, and
was
more
just
just him trying to talk, and the other guy could not give two shits what the fuck he was saying. And I think that's kind of plays up more to the whole Steele misses the old glory days, because he starts bringing up like, well, I actually used to box myself, and like, I don't remember if you remember any of my fights, and like the guy just immediately shuts him down by like not interacting with that conversation whatsoever.
Hey, you know my boy here, he took Dimsey the Rock back in 71. You remember that?
Nope.
Well, it was all over the East Coast newspapers, you know, Boston, New York, Philly. Yeah, biggest upset of the year. Made the headline. Mr. Nolan. Kelly.
Oh, I was wondering if you'd make it. You're a fighter in shape?
Oh, yes, sir, and the best. My mechanic here, he took him apart and put him back together just before we left Philly.
And then Nolan, too, also doesn't really show much interest in Steele or his robot either. And then he even says, like, the only reason we're letting your robot fight is because the person or the robot that was supposed to fight got damaged in this car accident. So just straight up telling him, like, look, you weren't our first choice, probably not our second or third choice either, but we're going to have to deal with you being here. So Nobody even wants Steele there.
Steele kind of lies and says, well, he doesn't want Maxo there, not Steele there.
Well, I mean, Steele is Maxo's owner, so...
Kind of make it feel bad. I don't want you here, you fucking motherfucker. Steele pretty much promises Nolan that it's all right. He's in good shape. And Nolan says, I don't care. I just want a good fight. And Steele promises he'll get one. And then he asks, do you have a ready room for us? And like, yeah, room number 5. Go down the hall. And then Steele kind of beats around the bush, kind of like, and what about you'll get paid when the fight is over?
Which, smart on
Nolan.
Nolan's part, because obviously, like, you probably want as many rounds as possible to put on a good show. So knowing that it's a B2 and probably not in the best of shape, probably is not going to last that long.
Yep. Then Steele tells Pole to go over Maxo. He takes the cover off, and we get the really cool makeup reveal.
And I love the eyes. They're like this black, soulless kind of eyes. They must put like some sort of contact thing in there too.
For as cool as that one was, for Maynard, it looks even cooler. The B7.
I thought it kind of looked kind of this. I mean, other than like, well, because
more beat up.
Yeah, he has like the swollenness over his eye too. They're both cool, but what I kind of thought from that is when Steele eventually goes in the ring, everyone just assumes he's a robot. It's like his eyes don't look anything like a robot.
They did do it. We'll get to it when we get to it, but they did do pretty good makeup to kind of make him look like that. Like he said, like
he just looked sweaty.
Well, they haven't seen a B2 in years. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Pole opens up the back panel, checks everything over. A tube blows. We can hear his gears. Pole's moves him around, and He puts him in active mode. Steel kind of shadow boxes with Maxo. And Pole's just like, they're going to hear him from the back row.
Need some motor oil.
Steel kind of keeps pushing the practice. Pole tries to warn him to conserve Maxo's use, but he's not hearing any of it. And then we hear a boing, 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 and Maxo's left arm is broken. And Pole opens up the back of the robot and a spring breaks. Steel fucking just grabs the shit. You fucking fix it right now. You broke it.
And then to the mechanics, like, on his side, what he says right afterwards is, well, there are no more springs left. This is such an old model, which, again, it's only 6 years old. I don't know how they ran out of springs or why they started using different springs. But I guess it's going to be really hard for him to find a replacement spring at the last minute, so they're kind of screwed.
Yep. But this is where Steel has a bright idea. I'll play some
I'd
of
say
this.
it's a really dumb idea.
Huh.
What if they don't watch the fights?
What?
If Nolan and Maxwell don't watch the bouts?
What are you talking? Are you crazy? You out of your mind? You can't do that.
We deliver a fight or we don't get paid.
Come on, Steele. They'll never let you. You can't make them believe it. Listen, you can't do it.
Nobody knows what Maxo looks like.
Maxo kind of looks like the fucking Matt Damon doll on Team America. Matt Damon.
Yeah, he does. The whole story about that, apparently they tried to take the puppet out of the kiln or whatever, and someone grabbed its head wrong and it kind of got it squished, and that's how they made the whole Matt
I was just
Damon
watching
joke.
the making of Team America the other day. Totally offside, but it definitely looks like the Matt Damon puppet.
Matt Damon.
Pole tries to tell Steel, it's a B7, you'll get mangled.
I mean, literally the worst idea possible. I can't imagine what was going through his mind, like, well, I really need $500, guess I'll die.
And Steel says, you're going to help me or I'm going to beat your brains out. You'll get killed, Steel. Then I will. And he goes, he's going to die for this. He's going to die on this hill. Pole wheels a covered-up Steel out of the dressing room. They pass Nolan. Nolan tells him, hey, you're late. Where's the owner? Pole actually goes pretty quick off the top of his head. He's in the audience and pretty much leaves.
And then Pole comes up with a good question for him. He's like, you're going to be bleeding, quite obviously. And he's like, well,
tell him it's
lie
oil.
and say it's oil. I'm like, well, those don't really look the same, but...
Right. Pole tells him this isn't going to work. He says, don't worry. They haven't seen a B2 in years. Everyone in the audience starts yelling, calling him scrap iron and just talking major shit about him. And then we get a glimpse at the B7. Again, really cool makeup. And Pole takes Steel's mask off and his coverings, and we get like a Phantom of the Opera looking Steel. Doesn't he kind of look like the monster from Phantom of the Opera with that makeup on?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell what they did to his face to make it, because obviously he doesn't have any of the prosthetics.
Looks like they put eyeliner and maybe put some whiter paint on
he
his
looked
head.
very pale, and obviously really sweaty. But other than that, I couldn't really tell if they did much. And I think he was trying to put on this stoic sort of face to make him look like a robot.
For sure. The announcer introduces the fighters. Maxo first, everyone talks shit, and then the B7, everyone goes wild. And Pole says, this is your last chance, Steel, to get out of here. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. And the fight begins.
Get the fuck out of here.
Steel tries to land some punches, just gets his ass completely kicked as anyone would have seen coming.
What I don't understand is there was a moment where the B7s had its back to him,
and then
hit the panel, hit the buttons, like something that would literally break it. That would be the smart move.
Or hit it in the head. He just taps it on the shoulder.
Yeah, well, not even that. I don't think the head would work that much because it looks like all the circuitry's in its back. So
you could try to trip it.
I would, trip it, but mostly the buttons are right in the open. Hit them all. You're a smart human that knows what these buttons do. You can literally just turn it off by hitting a single button.
There's even a shot where it shows him or Steel punches Maynard in the face a couple times, and it does absolutely nothing.
Well, yeah, human meat versus a several 100 pounds metal robot. Yeah.
Maynard keeps jabbing Steel right in the face. Steel's bloody as hell. And then he punches him fucking really hard, and Maynard delivers the final blow, and Steel's on the ground. Pole comes over and whispers, can you get up? And just get the robe.
The crowd is going wild, and I want you to pull up this scene. There's this one guy in the crowd that just is so fucking excited about the win.
The Maynard Flash! 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 The Maynard
Kind of looks like fucking a mix between Sloth from the Goonies and Chunk.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a kid at the end of that movie. I guess that's later, but
that'd be afterwards. But yeah, that guy very, very excited about the
win. Pole covers him up and brings him back into the room.
And then Steele's first concern after he gains consciousness again is, get the money. I mean, to be fair, you just almost died to win the money, so I get that.
Pole comes back into the room. He's like, did you get the money? We got half of it. He wouldn't pay us for just one round, which obviously I can get that.
Yeah.
And Steele's, oh, what? Okay, fine. We'll take the bus back. And he just starts doing all these mental gymnastics, going over the numbers and how everything's going to be okay.
Again, kind of pushing forward that whole, like, humanity's perseverance and, like, will always be willing to fight an uphill battle.
But I also think, like I said at the beginning, he's definitely, like, talking about himself in this moment. I'm going to play a little bit of this because it's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, lots of oil paste. Max will be good as new, huh? Yeah, we got some good bows, Max, huh? Yeah, that's all he needs, a little overhaul. Oil paste, trigger springs, highlands. Yeah, Maxwell's will be all right.
Yeah, it's obviously he's talking about himself, I think.
Yeah.
And I would imagine we don't obviously see the events that conspire after this, but I would imagine Pole probably leaves him because I don't think Steele's going to stop using this robot.
No, which is a very bad financial decision for him.
And then after this, Rod takes us out.
Portrait of a losing side. Proof positive that you can't outpunch machinery. Proof also of something else. That no matter what the future brings, man's capacity to rise to the occasion will remain unaltered. His potential for tenacity and optimism continues as always, to outfight, outpoint, and outlive any and all changes made by his society, for which 3 cheers and a unanimous decision rendered from The Twilight Zone.
And that's our episode. Tyler, what'd you learn?
I learned that boxing was outlawed back in 1968, so I don't know what the fuck we've been watching.
All right, we'll get right into ratings. IMDb currently has this at a 7 out of 10. I'm pretty sure I like this more than you do, so you want to go first?
Yep, I'm giving this a 6.5. The message is a little unclear. I think you're definitely on the right track, but it's still, for me, I like things to be a bit more, like, on the nose, and it was just a bit murky-ish. And the first half was a bit slow, but I did enjoy the character design, especially Maxo and the other B7. Really great, obviously. All the work they did on the makeup and everything looked awesome. And fun idea of having a man needing to fight a robot in the ring. So, yeah, 6.5.
I was actually surprised. I thought you were going to go lower. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. I can't go any higher because there really isn't anything Twilight Zone-y about it, but it's robots.
Man's fighting robots. That's Twilight Zone.
But I love Lee Marvin's performance in this, and I love the makeup of the robots and the whole message of, like, man will persevere. I really enjoy it. It's a very good episode. I like this one.
Who are they? Where are they? What are they? Let's find out together in The Twilight Zone presents Inside the Twilight Zone.
All right, so this week we have Lee Marvin. He was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. As we have stated earlier, he was in this and The Grave. I think I as well like The Grave a little bit better. I don't think The Grave is like a 10, but again, I haven't watched it in a while, so we'll see.
Grave is up there for me. It's one of my favorites.
He was also in The Dirty Dozen, Paint Your Wagon, just a lot of Westerns. He was definitely the big, tough cowboy in the 50s.
This is how you paint your wagon.
Then we have Joe Mantell. He played Pole. He was in Chinatown, The Birds, 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, Steele, and Nervous Man in a $4 Room, and he played the titular Nervous Man.
And was that you said there was one episode with only one person? Was that it?
No, he is in, there's another person. I think the only one with one, technically, is the Invaders.
Oh, okay.
But then, Joe Mantle here, Pole, he was also in 1 episode, Tyler, of Mr. Peepers.
Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Sex fiend. Sex fiend.
think when we're done doing this whole podcast, all 156 episodes, we should do like at least an episode of us watching Mr. Peepers.
We should definitely watch. I don't know. Should we start with the pilot or probably like the most highly rated?
Probably start with the pilot.
You think so?
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a while for a show to get its groove.
We'll watch the pilot and then we'll watch the most popular one.
All right. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a Mr. Peepers reference.
Yeah, quite some time.
Chuck Hicks, he played Maynard Flash. He was an actor and a stuntman. He did a lot of stunts. He was in 6 episodes of the 60s Batman. He was in The Naked Gun 3. He was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, obviously this, and 90 Years Without Slumbering. He played one of the movers, so a very small role in that. Not very much on trivia in this episode. The professional boxer Johnny Indrasano, he actually trained the actors there to kind of make it look like they knew what they were doing in the ring. And because of this, he would go on to be one of the Hollywood boxing coaches for like Mickey Rooney and Cary Grant and other big celebrities.
I'm surprised they actually got a professional boxer to sort of train them, because you don't really want it in this episode to make it look like they're actually really human boxing, because I would imagine a robot would be more stiff, so it'd be slightly different.
True, but you'd still want them to know basic moves like hand placements and stuff like that, and footwork, I would imagine.
Yeah.
In total, this episode cost $54,702. The director received the usual $1,500 for season 5, and the cast received $7,307.
What'd you say?
What's in a name, Mr. Benedict, really? It's a mere question of semantics. Just language. A mere stretch of words.
So every week, Tyler and I come up with a few alternative titles for the episodes we are watching, and this week I have 3.
I have 5.
All right, go for it.
All right, I'm going to start with my debacle. I got the droid debacle.
Decent. I have the down and out debacle.
Oh.
I was looking up boxing terms. There wasn't very many that began with D.
That's good. I have TKO.
I have Blow by Blow, Maxo's No Show.
Seems like that should be in the porno parody name. I have Fists of Steel.
I have, this could have been one of the porno parody names, but it could have been The Balls of Steel, because he has some balls to get in that fucking ring.
Yep. I have The Iron Champion. And my last one, Rock'em Sock'em Androids.
Pretty decent. Switcheroos. I have actually quite a bit. I think I have like 7.
I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4.
All right. You want to go first then?
Sure. I got The Obsolete Man.
I do not have that. I can't believe I missed that one. Judgment Night.
No. I have A Thing About Machines.
Yep, I got that. Execution.
No. I have The Trade-Ins.
Yep, I got that. Dead Man's Shoes, just because kind of like a dead man walking, getting in the ring with a robot.
Yeah, sure.
It's a stretch, but...
And I have Kick the Can as my last one.
I don't have that. Oh, that's a good one. I have In His Image and The Changing of the Guard.
Yep.
Oh, it may be better, it may be worse. The Twilight Zone did it first.
All right, so quite a few references this week in pop culture as well. I'm going to start us off with The Simpsons yet again in the episode titled I, Robot, from 2004, where Homer pretends to be a robot and fights in Robot Wars. I've never seen that episode. You watched The Simpsons.
Yeah, I think it's like a later one. That's like, what season did you say that was?
It came out in 2004.
Yeah, so that's...
season 15?
Yeah, it's all right. I've only seen it like once or twice.
And then, sticking with Matt Groening there, Futurama also has a robot fighting episode called Raging Bender. It came out in 2000, where Bender fights other robots. In the Futurama world, robots do fighting with each other. There's the movie Real Steel from 2011 with Hugh Jackman, where Hugh Jackman was a former boxer who trains a discarded robot, so very similar kind of ideas there. And then you also have the toy game Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which actually came out the exact same year, 1964. Kind of interesting coincidence there. But the Rock'em Sock'em game was actually going to originally have like more human-looking players, but someone had just recently died in the ring, so they decided to make them look more like robots, and instead of like having them fall to the floor, just have like the robots like pieces kind of fall apart.
I wonder why they didn't call them Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I mean,
Rod referred to them as robots.
Yeah, it seems like in the past everyone said robot instead of robot. And then also BattleBots, which is a 2000s real competition about just like more not real robots that look like androids, but just sort of like, you know, those kind of just robots that are just more made to fight. Sometimes they have like buzzsaws on them, but a whole bunch of different competition shows nowadays about just little robots that people make that kind of fight against each other. So kind of becoming a sort of reality here about robots fighting. And that's what I got.
All right, so every week, Tyler picks the episodes, and he does so by showing me an AI-generated picture. I play a little game where I have to guess what it is. And I believe we're in a big block of Death Other.
Yes. I don't think it's going to be a big block. I think it's just the next 5.
All right.
So it's going to be a Death or an Other.
Has it been a long time since... When was our last season 4? Was the Bard our last season 4?
I think it was, yeah, the Bard.
I think we're due for a season 4, so I'm going to guess season 4. It's either going to be next week or the week after, I'm thinking.
Are you ready?
Yep. What does that say? That says the Twilight Zone on the book.
Imagine if the book said witchcraft.
Is it Still Valley?
It is Still Valley.
All right. I'm not a big fan of like the westerny ones.
I love the western ones are fun.
I like I like The Grave, and I like Mr. Denton on Doomsday.
100 Yards Over the Rim, amazing.
Yeah. All right, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm gonna go into it with optimism.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent one. It's fun.
This isn't the one that they go back and help General Custer, right? That's the Seventh of Made Up of Phantoms.
Yeah, this one is.
Is this the one they keep finding teepees?
No, this one is. There's 2 Confederates, or no, not Confederate. This is from the South, right?
Yeah,
So
Union was the
2 Confederate soldiers are tasked as being like lookouts, and then they go to this town in Virginia where they suspect Union soldiers will be riding through. When they get there, all the Union soldiers are like frozen still.
So we get to have like an elegy. We get to look for a bunch of people fucking moving.
They actually did a really good job. Like some of the people, like they're holding barrels and shit, and they're still staying quite reasonably still. And I'm like, oh, props.
All right, I'm excited. I think I always get this one and the Seventh is Made Up of Phantoms, and I really don't care for that episode.
I don't know why. That one's a good one, too.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, next week, Still Valley. Be there or be square. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys could please continue to like and subscribe. It means the world to us. We are so close to 100. One more person.
Come on.
We could cheat and make an account, but I want that all of them are genuine, so...
So if you guys know anyone that really enjoys The Twilight Zone that hasn't subscribed yet, let them know about the show, and would really thank you for all the dedication to us guys.
For sure. And next week, or actually not next week, when if this is out, there's also going to be a video out, the Twilight Zone Top 10 Twists you can watch. So look forward to that video. I think it's pretty good. I think you guys are going to be pretty happy with Tyler and I's cumulative list of top 10 Twilight Zone twists.
And if you disagree, let us know too. We'd be interested to see where you stand on your favorite twists.
For sure. My wife and I were talking. She was surprised we did not put Will a Real Martian Please Stand Up on there. Spoiler alert. Because I was like, oh, well, the twist is that. But she was like, the twist is that
the twist is that there's a
Haley
second.
Is also.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good twist.
It is. I think that the main part that's so appealing about that episode is just the whodunit. It's like a Agatha Christie novel.
Okay.
Never watched Death on the Nile or Murder on the Orient Express or
No.
And Then There Were None.
The Knives Out glass onion thing.
Yeah. No, you don't like murder mysteries?
Not
Bunch
really.
of people, all with different motives, all stuck in the same room.
The best one is the Family Guy, and then there were fewer.
Which is just a parody of And Then There Were None.
If you add some comedy element to it, we should do that. We should do a comedy murder mystery.
You ever watch the movie Clue?
No, I have not.
That's a comedy murder mystery.
It's one of my favorite games, though.
Really? As a game, okay, the minute someone guesses and they don't have all the information, they ruin the game for everyone else.
Yeah. All right, so... yeah, if you guys could please like and subscribe on the YouTube page, go over to the Facebook page, give that a like and a follow. That would mean the world to us. If you could also give us a review on Spotify. We are a 5-star show, so leave us a 5-star review. And if you need to get a hold of us for any other reason, you can email us at twilightgnome59@gmail.com. But until then, Tyler, my final question for you, and I came up with mine too, because last week you were like, you didn't even come up with an answer for your own question. What are your 3 favorite robots? Top 3 favorite robots.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You want me to give you mine?
Yeah, you give me yours.
I think I'm going with Alpha 5 from Power Rangers. Probably Robbie, just because he's in the Twilight Zone. And I'm going with TikTok from Return to Oz.
I've never seen Return to Oz, so I don't know who TikTok is. Off the top of my head, I'm sure going to say 3, and then later on tonight, I'm going to think of like a much better robot. But off the top of my head,
the robot from Nigeria is Professor Nigeria. That's a pretty good one too.
I'd have to say probably Bender from Futurama, R2-D2 from Star Wars, and a third robot that's cool.
We were sending each other so many pictures of robots.
Yeah, but
you don't like any of them?
Yeah, Alpha 5 is just kind of nerdy.
Right.
Complains too much. I'll say I'm just gonna throw in BB-8 because I can't think of a third one.
You don't like C-3PO? No one likes C-3PO.
Actually, instead of
R2.
No, I'm keeping R2 instead of
BB-8.
Instead of BB-8, what's the one that Cal has in the video games? I like that one.
I don't know what that one's called, but that one is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, and then actually,
there's some cool robots in Fallout.
I've never played Fallout. I was trying to rack my brain around like different TV or movies that have robots. Ooh, I guess. Sonny from iRobot. I'm changing that one out. Okay, so Sonny from iRobot.
About Gigolo Joe from AI.
What's that?
You see that movie that came out in 2000 with Haley Joel Osment when he's like he's a robot kid.
Never seen it.
It was supposed to be Stanley Kubrick's last film. He actually got like a little bit into pre-production and he died, and then Steven Spielberg picked up the pieces.
Now that I'm thinking about it, now I'm thinking of other robots, but I still don't like them that much, like Centennial Man.
Bicentennial Man.
And then the whole movie Robots was filled with robots. There was Aunt Fanny.
There's a lot of cool ones. Mel Brooks's character.
Mel Brooks was the bad guy, right?
No, he was the big fat robot that was, if anyone can dream.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm sticking. Okay, so
there's a lot of cool robots.
Bender, R2-D2, and Sonny.
If we had the technology, would you have a robot? Or would you be opposed? I'd feel so weird. I'd be like, thing's gonna fucking kill me in my sleep.
I would have I wouldn't have an android. I would have, if it was a robot, I'd do something like R2, where it doesn't look human. Well, I mean, had jetpacks sort of thing going.
Yeah.
All right, I actually have a question for you.
Oh, yeah?
Who would win in a fight, a B7, Android, or Mr. Dingle?
Ooh, that's a good hypothetical. Probably Mr. Dingle, because didn't the aliens gave him something ridiculous, like 3,000 times he...
I was thinking the same thing, because like I think at one point he bends like the girder holding up a building. So it's like, clearly this man is insanely strong.
That would be a fun one to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm putting my money on Dingle.
I definitely want to make one of those memes where it's like 9 of these protect you, one of them is trying to attack you.
That definitely needs to be something we...
Obviously, Anthony can't be on the list because everyone would want him on their side.
Yeah, that would be unfair. That's like the ones that have like Superman on there, and it's just like, well, that's not really fair. You just fucking Superman and kill everybody.
Yeah.
But all right, until then, Tyler, is there anything you want to say to our dear, dear Gnomies out there?
Yes, thank you all for stepping into the Twilight Gnome with us.
It's 4 o'clock, the howling man is gone. Frisbee's telling stories, Mr. Dingle's strong. There's time enough for the real Martian to stand up. Next stop, Willoughby, little girl is lost. There's something on the wing, Walter Jameson won't live long. Feel like I'm 5 characters in search of exit.
fiend.